Hi everyone, it's Sasha, Divine Pisces 222. I wanted to go ahead and do a real quick energy check-in for the full moon with the eclipse in in Capricorn. There's a lot of pretty heavy energies, at least surrounding me right now. I thought I was in a good place, but it seemed to be going backwards. So I just wanted to do a quick check-in. I wasn't going to, but my intuition's telling me to do it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. This will be pretty quick, as I'm, getting ready for work. So I need to leave soon, but I thought I'd go ahead and do this. Okay, so we'll just get started here. Clear. I'm going to start off with a couple of oracle cards here. I will say I'm just going to apologize in advance. A lot of times when I'm doing readings for someone else, my DM tends to interject. He'll show up sometimes. So hopefully he won't do that. And if he does do that, hopefully he'll just, basically be an ambassador for the collective DM energies right now. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get some overall energies here. All right, so we have air here. This card to me usually represents someone who's trying to figure a lot of things out. I feel like this particular group of DMs, they're very much in their heads, trying to overanalyze things, trying to intellectualize things, which, as you know, on this journey, a lot of times when you intellectualize things, it goes back to ego. So a lot of divine masculines right now, this particular group of divine masculines are very much in their head right now, trying to intellectualize things. Okay. Oh. All right. Mercury's been coming up a lot, I've noticed. I believe this particular group of divine masculines and divine feminines are definitely not in communication here. If you have not received any sort of communication from your divine masculine, you may be receiving it soon. But this particular card right now is telling me that a lot of you are not in communication, but will be receiving communication soon. It may be about the connection. It may be maybe just a hey, what's up? Just trying to make sure that you're still there, because a lot of them are feeling right now that, not only are they in their heads, but that they're afraid of the connection, but they feel like they've lost you and they don't want to. So it's kind of a double-edged sword here. All right, let's get one more, please. Oh, okay. And there he is. He just showed up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use this here. Some of you may be dealing with a Leo. There's a lot of fire here, but again, this also goes back to ego. A lot of them, again, are stuck in their heads. They're letting their egos rule them here. And it may be actually leaking into the communication factor. If you do receive communication, it may not be lovey-dovey or anything like that. It may just be a, hey, just wanted to talk to you, and then they might disappear again. That happens a lot, unfortunately, especially in this phase of the journey. And I will say I found it interesting because a lot of times the divine masculines, it's like they want to communicate, they just don't really know how. It's almost like they're so stuck in their heads, they just don't even listen to their intuition at all. Okay, intuition's telling me one more card, so hopefully I'll get one here. Oh, okay. All right, Virgo here. Some of you may be dealing with a Virgo, some of you may be dealing with, or you may be a Virgo yourself. This card a lot of times to me represents, for some reason, the High Priestess here. So it's like they have you on their mind here. It's just that they're so in their head they don't really understand, or maybe they don't recognize the connection, they just know there is one. Okay? Also here, it's like, how she's just kind of sitting there. She seems, really content within herself. So it's like they're seeing you, that you're really, really content within yourself, and they're, thinking, oh my gosh, she's over me, what do I do now? That sort of thing. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple more here. And if you guys are wondering, this is the Zodiac Oracle, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and I'll put that in the description box as well. All right, and also I use the Healing Light Tarot. Hopefully you can see that. Sorry, it's so dark in here. All right, I'm just going to pull a couple of cards here. Clear. I don't normally read reversals, I just want to put that out there, but if it does come out upside down and, you know, sometimes my intuition will tell me it needs to stay that way, or it'll at least tell me it it's upside down. Still kind of figuring all of that out. All right, let's see here. Oh, okay. Oh, well, we're starting off already. Two of Pentacles. Feel like a lot of you here, your Divine Masculines, are also dealing with a third-party situation, feeling like they're juggling. Now, whether that's a person, it could be a job, it could just be an addiction, really, but you know, a lot of times it feels like, you know, they're having to make a choice between what's stable for them, whether it's their karmic situation, whether it's a person, you know, that maybe they're financially dependent on, and, you know, going into the great beyond, the great unknown, which is, of course, the twin flame journey. So a lot of them, again, are stuck in their heads right now, in their egos. They're letting their egos guide them. They're comfortable where they are, and they're really afraid to take that leap. They just fly out these days. Okay, so as I mentioned before, you know, we have a full moon in Capricorn right now. It is an eclipse. There's some very heavy energies here. You know, some of you may be dealing with a Cancer. Some of you may be a Cancer, have Cancer in your chart. But also a lot of times this card, and it's telling me right now, this card is actually representing deception, self-deception mostly, but there is some deception to the Divine Feminine. You know, if you're looking at their Facebook page, which I really don't recommend doing, but if you are, and you see these happy pictures and things like that, you know, they're deceiving not only themselves, but you. Well, yeah, I'm totally happy, I'm totally fine, you know. There's nothing to see here. But in reality, they're really, it's like they're lying to themselves. They're lying to their higher selves, but they're also, you know, lying to themselves to lie to you, if that makes sense. As far as that goes, I'm going to pull a couple more here. Let's see what we get. Okay, wow. This was at the bottom of the deck here. Okay, so the Star card, wish fulfillment. A lot of them know that there's something out there, there's something higher than where they're at right now. But again, they're fighting with their ego. They're afraid to take that leap. They're not communicating, or, you know, in reality, it's like, you know, they know, but they don't want to know, if that makes any sense. It's like out of sight, out of mind, that sort of thing. A lot of times that does happen with the masculines. They tend to be more ego-driven than the feminines do. Also, the Empress card here, which came out earlier, again, as Virgo. A lot of times that card represents to me, you know, the High Priestess, but also sometimes the Empress here. And the Empress, of course, this is a 3. Here, it's like he sees you, doing the right thing for yourself, standing up for yourself, going within, doing the work. And it's almost like it intimidates him, you know, but as you do the work, as you work on yourself, it's going to give him the strength to see the light, to come out of this deception phase, and to make that decision, you know, to the great beyond, to the great unknown, and get out of his head and get out of the situation that he's pretty much put himself in. There is judgment coming, if it hasn't hit already. A lot of them, I believe, are going through tower moments right now, aha moments. Tower moments aren't always bad, but usually with the divine masculine, because a lot of times they're very, very, very resistant. You know, it's going to hit them in the face. It's something that's just going to say, hey, you need to pay attention to this. You know, if you don't, we're just going to keep smacking you in the face. So if that has not come, it is coming. You know, there is enlightenment coming here. It is very divinely guided here. Here he is down here in the light, you know. He's like, oh my gosh, the light is so blinding. I don't know what to do. And I do believe here it's like, if you can see here, the Four of Cups. He's sitting on what he already has here. But he sees this over here, and he's debating on whether or not he wants to extend that. So again, you know, earlier when I pulled out Mercury, there may be some of you getting communication. There may be some of you trying to communicate. I would say try not to chase. You know, you don't want to really put yourself out there, because especially if he's not communicating with you, there's really no point in that. It's just going to lead to heartbreak. But here it's like he's just sitting, he's waiting. Okay, he sees this over here. He's just not quite sure how to get there. Okay, and a lot of that again goes back to this here. And of course he's deceiving himself. Okay. All right, I'll pull a couple more cards here. Just some general advice for the Divine Feminine Collective on what we need to do going forward to help our Divine Masculines. Sorry, I didn't think that didn't need to come out. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, okay. Hierophant. This is your Divine Masculine. Okay. You know who he is. Okay. Stay in your power and help him find his. Okay. He definitely, he knows there is a connection. He's just fighting real hard against it. He's very, very resistant to this. Very stubborn. I feel like maybe some of you, of course, are dealing definitely with a land sign here, possibly a land sign rising. Very stubborn. Okay, one more, please. Very stubborn. Just try not to dwell on it too much. Work on yourself, and as you're working on yourself, you know, he will find the strength. He will find the strength to move forward and to realize who he is, and to come towards you. I know it seems like, well, why do I have to do all the work? Because, you know, you are the leader. Especially in the spiritual world, the Divine Feminine is the leader in the 5D. Okay, and you can see here, you know, again, some of you might be dealing with a Leo here. I feel like, again, this is almost here. This card is also telling me about a third party. So again, it's just kind of going back to whether it's a person, whether it's a job, it's an addiction. But I feel like in this particular case, it is another person. So some of you may have Divine Masculines who are in relationships, or if you guys were in a relationship and he left, he's found someone else, or you may have found someone else. But I believe what this is telling me is that it's the Divine Masculine is like stuck between two. He's being held up by two. And then this one decided to come out. He's very restless, very impatient. Very much in his head. Not really quite sure which direction to go. Almost like he wants to move forward, but he's pulling himself back. His ego is pulling back his higher self. Which, of course, is this. So, yeah. All right, so that's it for today. Hopefully this helps somebody. This resonated with you. If it did, please like, share, subscribe. You can put it, you know, if you saw something else in the cards, I definitely would recommend putting that in the comments, because you may have seen something that I didn't. It may have resonated to you differently, and that's perfectly fine. We all read differently, and our intuition tells us different things. So if you saw something else, definitely let me know. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Enjoy this eclipse, this full moon energies. Just again, try to stay away from the negativity if you can. And that's it. Thank you very much. Have a good day.